Hey guys, quickly before the video starts, be sure to give it a like to show that you support me and my channel. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/sheriff_VD for important updates. I also live stream at twitch.tv/sheriff_VD. If you guys are interested in that, go check it out. Links for all this are in the description, as well as other important things for you guys, such as ebooks and stuff along those lines. And Jesus f***ing Christ, don't forget to f***ing subscribe! Yo, what's going on, guys? Your boy VD back on me, Madden 17, and today I'm bringing you the part 2 of the Blitz video that I showed you guys yesterday. So yesterday I showed you guys the will go buck 3 press setup out of the 3-4 odd in the Raiders defensive playbook. I showed you guys a setup for that, and then I said yesterday that I would be showing you guys a more advanced setup today. So if you guys didn't see that one, go check it out. It's going to be in the description below and in the comments below, as well as the setup for this one, because that's what I do. I'm all about text, just in case I go a little bit too quick, because I know I have a consistency of talking a little bit quick and moving a little bit quick. However, today we will be looking at the second setup for the will buck 3 press 3-4 odd in the Raiders defensive playbook. So we're going to go ahead and pick that and just pick a random play on offense. Okay guys, so the first thing you're going to notice is this setup is completely different from the one from yesterday, so let's go ahead and jump into it. First thing you want to do is baseline by hitting Y or triangle and then a right on the D-pad, just to baseline your defense. And then what you want to do is shift your linebackers to the left by hitting right on the D-pad, followed by left on the D-pad. And then what you want to do is crash your defensive line to the left by hitting left on the D-pad and then left on the right stick. I'm sorry about that. And then this guy should be right about there. Actually, this guy should be moved over a tad bit. Something along those lines, just like this. What you want to do is just shade underneath. Well, I prefer just to shade underneath, and that guy should be about right there. But I prefer to shade underneath by hitting wire triangle and then down on the right stick. And then all you want to do is stand over this hole right here and just hold down LT. And just stand there for a second after you snap the ball so that you can keep number 79 over there in that gap. So that way when you snap the ball, he's not going to move over to the left and cover that guy right there. And as you're going to see, he's going to come in clean. I'm going to go ahead and set it up that way one more time. And then after that, I'm going to show you guys the more in-depth way of setting it up and the way that I prefer to zone it out. So what you guys want to do, like I said, is base align, shift your linebackers to the left, crash your defensive line to the left. And then that's pretty much the only setup that you need. I'm just going to shade underneath. And then I'm going to walk over here with this guy, hold LT, snap the ball. And you guys are going to see that the B gap is going to come in on the left. And of course, that time it gets picked up. But I think it's a little bit more consistent whenever you zone it out the correct way. So now I'm going to show you the way that I prefer to set it up. It's the same setup to set up the blitz. All you have to do is base align, shift your linebackers to the left, crash your defensive line to the left. But the way that I like to zone it out is like this. Usually I'll take this guy and zone him out into a flat by hitting A or X on him and then left on the D-pad so that he's in a hard flat. And then what I'll usually do is user this guy and I'll just put him in a hook zone, but you don't even have to do that. Technically, we're going to be usering him. And then this guy is free to be zoned out. However, whether you want to put him in a curl hook or even a vert hook, or you could just leave him in the hook over the middle. Usually I'll shift him over and put him in the hook curl. That way, I'll cover the majority of the ground, cover the middle and the hook over here in the vert. That way the computer has a less ground to cover, and I'd rather just cover the majority of the ground. And then I shade underneath by hitting wire triangle and then down on the right stick, and then that's going to shade underneath. And then it just looks like a base cover 3. But what's cool is it's still going to come in, and what I like about setting it up this way is this guy can stay in the middle of the field to help out with the run a little bit better. And then you could sit down here like you're supposed to and hold LT over the gap, and this is where he's supposed to be standing, so it conceals the blitz a little bit better. So when I snap the ball, you guys are going to see that that gap comes in, and I think it comes in a little bit quicker that way. I'm not too sure, but I think it's a little bit more consistent whenever you zone it out this way. Let's go ahead and do it again. Baseline, shift your linebackers to the left, crash your defensive line to the left, zone this guy out into a flat, and then take this guy, move him over just a hair, and then zone him out. And then we'll take this guy, shade anything. Like I said, you don't even need to rezone this guy if you don't want to. Just hold down LT, and when you snap the ball, you're going to see that B gap is going to come screaming in. And that's really all there is to the setup. However, there is other ways you could zone this play out. Obviously, if there is crossing routes coming over to the right side, you're always able to zone this guy out and this guy out. Like if you want to put X in man coverage because you think he's going to run a drag or something, I would put him in man coverage with this middle linebacker. All you want to do is hit A or X and then up on the right stick, and then whatever receiver you want to be manned up with. So say that the X receiver is running a drag. I'm going to go ahead and put him in a drag. Then he's going to be manned up. And then you're going to be using this middle hook, and then you can zone this guy out however you want, or even you can zone him you can man him up with the B receiver and then use the deep safety. This is what I do a lot if they're running a lot of mesh. I'll usually do something like this, but usually if I do that, then I'll cross man them like that, and that's just going to make it a little bit better. They're going to cover the drag a little bit better whenever you do that, whenever they're on the other side of the field. So we're just going to go ahead and snap it like this, and it's still going to come in this way. You guys are going to see when I snap the ball, I'm going to crowd the box a little bit with the safety, and then I'm just going to immediately drop back, make sure no one's open over the top. You guys can see the drags were absolutely locked down, setting it up like that. After you do the initial setup, the base and line shift linebackers to the left and then crash your defensive line to the left, pretty much anyone who's zoned out, including, and this guy as well, the right of screen defensive end, anyone can be zoned out however you want, as long as at the end of the day, the same 4 blitzers are blitzing this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, as long as those guys are blitzing, and as long as there's someone standing over this gap for just a couple seconds. Say, for example, I wanted to do some sort of a cover 4 shell. You guys can see right now we have a cover 4. All I did was, this guy was normally in a flat, and this guy was on a curl like that. All I had to do was just re-deep this guy so that he's covering the right seam, and then I can just deep this guy by hitting A and then up, and then you guys can see there's the cover 4, and then if I want to cover the flats, all I got to do is zone this guy out to a flat A, and then left on the D-pad, and then I have a cover 4 base, just hold LT right there, and as long as I'm holding LT in that gap, the blitz is going to come in. So I encourage you guys to have as much fun with this as you possibly can, and that's what blitzes are all about, is making them your own and adjusting to whatever your opponent is running. If they're throwing it underneath, set up the blitz and only keep 1 or 2 people in the back, and then, or what I usually do if that happens is, like you guys seen before, I'll keep the 2 cornerbacks over the top, and then I'll use the free safety, and then only move to the back if they're actually throwing it deep. I'll say it a million times, you can't run the same blitz over and over again. You have to make adjustments. So if you run the same setup against every single person, one of them is bound to figure it out, or it's not going to work against their scheme. So don't tell me that this blitz is able to be picked up and able to be dotted up, because that's not the point. You're not supposed to blitz every single down. You're supposed to slip it in there every so often, and it's a pretty easy setup too. So what's nice about this is you can seal it by doing the setup, or you could just decide not to blitz certain people, make them block extra if you're not even going to actually send it, and you're actually only sending 4 people at the end of the day, so it's just like a normal coverage play, but a blitz is coming in, if that makes sense. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, definitely give it a like, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter. It's going to be down in the description below, and if you guys are having a hard time stopping the run out of that blitz that I just showed you guys, you're going to have to go check out the blitz from yesterday, because it's the same blitz, different setup, and it's going to be a lot better against the run. But you're still able to stop the run with this one as long as you use it correctly. But as always, guys,